So there is and has been a question on this channel around the idea of where do we go from here? Meaning, with all the information that's been shared, all the lies that's been exposed, all the truth that's been downloaded, all the awareness that's been expounded upon, where do we go? What do we do? And that's a very complex question, because you're talking about 7 billion people, a system of power that's been standing for centuries, mind controls that have been installed into generations of people, beliefs that are so deeply ingrained in the individual that even with every ounce of evidence that you promote, they can have every piece, every document sitting in front of them proving your point, and it won't even be acknowledged as existing, because to defend their own place of where they are right now, they will just jump to the next distraction, deflective talking point, ad hominem attack, whatever it is, to avoid accountability, to avoid responsibility, to avoid the embarrassment, to avoid the work that needs to be done after becoming aware of that information. It's not really a matter of, well, since I know this information, let's do this, because you're incorporating a we. You might know this. They don't know that. They're years, maybe even decades away from even opening up to the idea of knowing whatever that is. So that goes to the question of who's this we that we're talking about? Because your we is not their us. This bubble of content creation on the internet creates the illusion of a we. It further solidifies the illusion of the I, doubles down on the we by creating a community out of illusory I's. So there's a bunch of half we's with a crazy amount of closed eyes looking around and saying to each other, where do we go? Does this perspective dismiss all of the we work that needs to be done to hold certain people accountable, to affect the change of certain situations? No. In fact, it makes that situation more easy to see. It makes it clear. If you're looking, the only thing is the majority of people are not looking. To look at the world is to look at yourself. If you're looking at the world and haven't looked at yourself with the same intensity that is needed to look at the world, you're only going to be able to see so much and only be able to go so far. What I attempt to do on this channel with the art that I share on this channel is to help people move in general. Just move. Make progress. Don't be concerned so much with where you have to be or where you have to go. Use that energy to continue to move. 10 years from now, where you think you need to be is completely different from where you thought you needed to be 10 years ago. Everybody's doing this. So if that's the case and it's constantly changing, then the only constant there is change. So if that's the only constant, then the best case scenario is to affect that change in a positive manner. Produce progress on a micro scale, and if you have the ability, on a macro scale. Progress will look different for different people. On this channel, I may produce a perspective that is heavily focused on a wide range of people to help progress. But it's also heavily focused on a specific group of people to help progress. And it's focused on that specific group of people, not only because that's my demographic of people, that's where I came from, that's my family, that's what I feel closest to, but that group also happens to be the most progress hungry, the group, in my opinion, that needs the most attention, because we are the most attacked. If you're talking about where we need to go, recognize that we are in a war. If we are in a war and one of your strongest battalions is being heavily attacked, you need to reinforce that battalion. You need to help those who are bleeding out, who can't breathe, who can't see, who are in shock, who have severe burns, the sick, the poisoned. We have been hit hard for generations. Some people need to quarantine themselves. We need to do recon, not only on the groups that are attacking us, but on ourselves. Reconnoiter with oneself. Go out, come back. Speak up. Shut up. Nowadays, we have access to speak. People think that's the answer. Shutting out half of your learning series by ignoring the silence that's needed, the introspection. Things change when you take time off. When you turn something off. Turning part of yourself off for a certain amount of time not only turns things on, but gives you the opportunity to clear out parts of you that do not benefit you. They may have at one point in time, but you're forever growing out of old habits, old ways, old mechanisms, old thoughts, old beliefs, old tactics. We can't see those as clear as we can if we're forever thinking about moving and forever talking. That's part of the mind control, to keep people moving, thinking they got a grasp on reality, staying stagnant. There hasn't been enough I work done to speak on the we in the question of where do we go from here? Break the question down. Where? As if there's a where to be. We. Where do we? Who is this we that we speak of? Oh, it's the us because we know it's a them doing stuff to us. We don't even know who we are. We don't even know who they are. So we have to identify the I before we identify the we. People don't even know that there's an I to identify. And here we are talking about we. We are not ready for that discussion. We are still in a time and place that is needing to understand. We're not even in a world of overstanding, let alone understanding. You can't understand before you understand. And you can't overstand before you understand and understand. There's an order of approach that is needed. If people start thinking that they're overstanding a situation before they understand and understand themselves, it can be dangerous. If some people get to where they think they need to be without first going to where they have to be, their percentage of fully incorporating the experience will be skewed at the very least. At the very worst, there can be a harm to themselves and others, which is why it's so important to hold these answer key content creators accountable for their misuse of power and ignorance. The from here part, where do we go from here? The from here is relative. Not everybody's here. So not everybody's going to go where we need to go because we are not the we that we're talking about. On another level, to impose the question of a we solidifies the idea of an I. There's a we before the I that we still haven't talked about. That we that is the I before the I. There's an I before a we before the I that makes up this we that we're talking about. Let me say that again. There's the we that people are talking about. Where do we go from here? That we is an illusion because that we is made up of a whole bunch of I's that are also illusions. And all those I's create this one we. That one we is a singular I before it became a whole bunch of I's that made up this we. So we're talking about depths of illusion. In reality, there's only this we because the illusionists manipulating the illusion have solidified this idea of them, they, as a mindset to further solidify your illusory I. The locking in of the villain solidifies the reality, the existence of the superhero. They are playing the villain to distract you from the fact that there are no villains, there are no superheroes, because there is no separation. If you want to play this game, you can play that game. But that game exists in a realm of understanding. That realm only exists if people believe in that quote unquote understanding. The heliocentric model creates an understanding of reality. Once you believe that understanding, you are trapped in that universe. That is your ceiling. Those are your walls. You can't go any further than that. And if you try, the wardens, the security guards of those belief systems will keep you in check. There's a system working in the people that's designed to keep you in check. See it as a virus exposing itself when you bring that information, that discussion to the surface. You go through your day-to-day with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones, with people who are close to you, people at work, people at church, people on the street, whatever it is. You stay in one bubble of interaction, of understanding. And if you break out of that for the smallest amount of time, and you will be attacked, because that mechanism will come boiling to the surface like a fire to protect itself. It's a parasite protecting the host, because that parasite cannot live if the host is not healthy, is not alive. This information is a parasite living in people, grown by a system that profits off of that mechanism, off of that parasite, off of that ignorance. All of these systems that are still existing, still running strong every day. If you're on a battlefield and people are still being attacked every single day, right next to you, on your left and your right, you're standing there. You're fine, seemingly. You're not being attacked. You're not being hit. But the people on your left and right are being slaughtered. You grab the microphone and say, what? Where do we go from here? If you're asking me that, I'm saying I'm exactly where I need to be. I will stay here for as long as I need to be, as long as my brothers and sisters on my left and right are still being attacked. And especially including the reality that these people, these brothers and sisters on our left and right on this battlefield are being attacked by themselves, first and foremost. They are being manipulated to attack themselves. Are the majority of people in this realm right now being attacked? Yes. Are the majority of people in this realm being attacked by themselves? Yes. By their own beliefs, by their own ignorance, by their own misuse of power, by their own questions, by their own understandings. Getting to a certain point and saying, boom, I got it. I'm done. What's next? That's a trap. We are exactly where we need to be. If we weren't, we wouldn't be here. The work that needed to be done 50, 100, 200, 300, 1,000 years ago, that work needed to be done to affect whatever was going on in the system at that time. The people, the controls, the realm, the balances. It was meant for that time. They were meant for that time. We only have so much time. I am meant for this time. You are meant for this time. We are meant for this time. On average, you're going to only have so much time. You will go where you need to go when it's your time to go. And it won't have anything to do with where you just came from, because where you just came from is an illusion, because you are where you are. You just can't see it because you're thinking you need to be somewhere else. And that's what creates the problem. Even in the New Age community, I need to be enlightened. I need to be conscious. I need to be woke. I need to evolve. I need to shift into the next dimension. I need to open my third eye. I need to achieve this state of tranquility. The need is the problem. And before the need, the I is the problem. So you don't need any of that shit. Once you already go through that process, that's the thing. The progress, the movement through those systems is the where that you need to be. But it's never a place. It's not a where. It's not a where. It's a progress. It's a movement. It's a beat. What are you doing with your beats? What music are you making? Your heart beats every day in this realm. Is that music or is it just sounds? The only way it's music is if it's right here where it's supposed to be. If you're projecting those beats, those sounds way down the line somewhere else you think it's supposed to be, it's not music anymore. It's only a sound. You can't hear the music anymore because you're too fucking loud. We're too busy listening to the sounds other people are making way down the line telling us that it's music. It's green grass music over that hill. We need to go over there, achieve enlightenment, become woke, become awakened. Get over there where we're making this music over here. No, you're making sounds way down the line, projecting those sounds through a megaphone over to this group of people way over there, telling them it's the most beautiful music in the universe. Fuck you. That sounds like shit. You are that music. You make the best music when you make those beats right where you are. Try to make music from right here for somebody way over there. At best, they'll hear a sound, maybe a beacon to try to go over there and make another beat, make their own beat. But if you gather everybody's beats, gather everybody's sounds, all their music right here and say, where do we go from here? All that music, all those sounds, all those beats, it's too fucking loud. You're not making music anymore. You're just making noise. We don't need to make noise. We need to make music. And the majority of people right now, they love the noise. They can't help but love the noise. They've been conditioned from generation upon generation to love that noise. They look up to that noise. That noise is the most beautiful music that they've ever heard. They've never heard their own music. They spent their entire lives bombarding themselves with noise. Like we can't hear our own heartbeat because it's too loud. It'll distract us from the rest of the world that we're experiencing. We're conditioned to not hear the noise beat, that artificial heart that's installed in us at birth, manipulating our genetic code with all the shots, all the vaccines, all the beliefs, all the medications, the education, years upon years, the movies, the music, the schools, the toys, the clothes. We wear the noise. We show off the noise. We pass down the noise. And we hold people accountable for not making that noise at the expense of their own music. These are your children, your soldiers, your elders, your family, your friends, not knowing how to spell music, not knowing music exists, let alone their own music exists, loving the noise. Do you want to go anywhere with people who just make noise? That's the we we're talking about. We are not ready. In the illusion of we, even at this point, we are not ready. We are still making noise. We have years and years and years of noise construction and destruction that needs to be made, foundations that need to be repaired before we start making music on larger scales, let alone on the individual scale. We're not all supposed to play the same music. This is why we're so different. This is why our differences are demonized. Because your instrument over here is supposed to balance out and play with that instrument of those people over there. But they've watered out and muddied all of those instruments, all of that music, all of that life has been downplayed so that the illusion of mass scale noise could be sold to the masses as the most beautiful music in the universe. We are in no position to play music in that illusion of we are in no position to play music. We are only equipped to make noise. From my own experience, you can't really hear people's music until you walk on that trail, following that sound to get there. Once you walk and get there, which takes time to fully experience because you have to follow that sound. You have to calibrate your ears. You have to watch your step as you're walking there. And when you get there, when I've gotten to these places where these people are saying that they are making the most beautiful music in the world, when I've gotten there, I realize more often than not, they're just making noise. The New Age community, conspiracy communities, conscious communities, the American dream, it's all noise. They're all selling you something. Noise making machines. You can't have beautiful music in a noisy room. Before you can make that music, you have to first study the music of silence. You can't hear your music if you're too loud. All you hear is noise. Turn that radio that you think is music, turn it down for a while. See how that music that you thought was music, see how it changes after you turn the volume down for a certain amount of time. Turn it down for a day, turn it down for a week, turn it down for a year, turn it down for 10 years. See what it sounds like after that. We don't know what music we need to make. We don't know where we need to go. For anybody asking the question of where we need to go from here, where you need to go to a place where that question doesn't exist. If you want to play in that game, it's still relative. Some people need to go here first, then over there, then back to here. By the time they get back here, we'll need to go over there. When they go over there, some people haven't done this yet. So when they get there, it won't be the same place we're at, but they'll be in the same location. Being in the same place and the same location are two different things. You might be here, but you're not here. With all that moving around, going from here to there and over there and here and there and back and all that other stuff. If you get back to a place where you can actually hear yourself and you still have that question, there's still somewhere else you need to go. And you don't need anybody else to go there with you. We'd be a lot better off if more people got to where they thought they needed to go without thinking they needed everybody else to go there with them. Some of those people you don't want with you. If we want to sit in the space of a place that we need to go to affect a change of a better situation in response to all the things that are going on that don't align with us. If we're talking about that, then you have to address the elephant in the room, which is the people that affect that location. Anywhere you go, if you get there and those same ignorant, sick, diseased, illusory ass people are still there, you'll be no different than where you were. So where do you want to go? If you want to ask where we want to go, where do you want to go? You can't ask me where I want to go or where we should go, because I'm saying we're exactly where we need to be. I'm only going to be here for so long. You're only going to be here for so long. What you're doing here right now is the only thing that matters. If you're doing everything that you need to be doing right here, right now, to the best of your ability, from your highest perspective, if we all did that, whatever they are doing will become irrelevant, because our maximum potential is worlds beyond the nonsense that is projected on us by the so-called they. That illusion is so powerful, they still got these assholes calling them elite. The most simple and embarrassing magic you can think up. And they're calling it elite. If they're elite, what are you? If they're elite, how can you be elite? Make yourself elite. If you can identify how they are elite and their simple, cheap, weak ass work that they've been doing, if that's elite, what the hell is your elite? What will qualify you to be elite? People don't know that music. First move in that discussion is find a more accurate representation of who and what they are outside of the term elite. Because they call themselves elite and they make you call them elite. With all the people that you trust, they call them elite. The same way they call you a minority. For the same purposes. You are a minority. You are a color. You have no home. You are of 2 continents. You are of Africa, America. You are a ghost. You do not exist. Your existence is only here because I say it's here. I give you your name. I give you your labels. I give you your reality. I'm elite. You wait for me to tell you where to go. Do not attempt to play your own music. The noise that we make is the only thing that matters. Do not think for yourself. Do not feel for yourself. Do not work for yourself. Do not identify yourself. We give you your identity. We determine where you go. We determine how you feel. We determine what needs to be done. You act in response to what we do. You react to us. They know nothing more than to make noise. This is why they make the loudest noise in the world. Because they are unable to produce any music. The school system is designed to take your music, water it down, suck all the nutrients, all the seasoning, suck it out of your children, your future generations, demonize their music, and turn them in to red, white, and blue noise-making machines. Noise runs the world at the expense of music.